So we're going to shift gears here for a minute, and I want to be upfront with you when we talk about this. This next story about Alberto Del Rio is not a segment I want to do, but it's one we have to do because we need to talk about bad actors out there. We've talked plenty of times about bad actors, fans in the wrestling world, in the wrestling community, but we should talk about bad faith and bad actors that are wrestlers too. And what better person than Alberto Del Rio? We're not going to brand this. We're not going to say welcome to the T-Drop for this because no jokes in this one. This is me just telling how it is because this man has done something stupid once again. This is all about Alberto Del Rio, and it's a legal story. What else is new with him? And I'm going to walk you through some of the verified stuff we know, what happened, what the court ruled, and what it means for the wrestling side of this, and that's pretty much it. Out of respect for the other people that were involved, we stick to what's been reported, and we get to this, and we do it right. So here's what we know, and I pulled this from Fightful, Wrestling Inc., and Cage Side Seats, and all these other things, and figured out where the between was. And also, there was a Mexican reporting about this, but on Monday, April 6th, in St. Luis Potosí, Mexico, Alberto Rodriguez. That's his real name, by the way. Alberto Rodriguez. That's on him that I doxed him at this point. The man we know as Alberto Del Rio, or Alberto El Patron, 48 years old, is arrested by the state civil guard. The reporting says officers responded to a 911 call, and it was from his wife. When they arrived, they documented visible injuries to her face and her arms, and they took him immediately into custody at the scene. He was held at La Pila prison before a hearing, and that hearing happened on Saturday, April 11th, a few weeks ago, and it ran over a few hours. And the judge, Paulo Cesar Ramiro Juniga, ruled that there was sufficient evidence to bind him over. What that means is the formal charge being that he had been repeated with family violence. And they didn't treat it as a misdemeanor, and pretty much the court was saying on paper, they had enough to go to trial. But, and this is the but on this, and this is where we have to understand how, I guess, the Mexican legal process works a little differently than what happens here, or what we're used to. His defense team requested what they call an alternatives resolution, which, okay, and that was granted by the judge. Okay, so let's talk about what they actually agreed to, because I've seen people talk about it, that he walked. They said he walked. Everyone's been reporting that he walked. After a few days he'd been arrested, he was released, or he was walked out. But in reality, they granted an alternate solution, which means he signed a deal with 3 conditions, which are to be enforced for 6 months, with a compliance check-in scheduled for October 29th. Number one is he has to pay reparations for the victim, and that amount is 130,000 pesos, which that is roughly $65,000. That's some good reparations. $65,000 for getting beat up. Damn. Number 2, mandatory therapy, which I feel he has done in the past already, because this is not his first time. But they're saying specifically a rehabilitation program for aggressors, and not an optional thing, and it has to be done. And the third condition of this alternate resolution is a full no contact order with the complainant, which is his wife. Now, if he violates any of these in a 6-month window, the alternative resolution that he requested collapses, and the original charge comes back, and he has to go back to court. So when people ask or say that he was free, or is he free, the honest answer is conditionally he is on a clock, and he is trying to fix his situation. Otherwise, he does have to go back to jail. Now, the wrestling side of this, and there you go with him being released. It's weird that in this photo he looks all built, and then in this photo he looks like he lost weight or something. It's only been a few days in jail, but it says right there, Alberto Del Rio has been released from jail after being arrested for domestic violence. And the truth is, he wasn't released. He's dealing with an alternative resolution, which is a thing in Mexico. So now the wrestling side, because this is a story, and we always talk about the wrestling side of all these stories. On April 8th, like I said, that was 2 days before his arrest, and before even the hearing happened, the Crash put out a statement on their Instagram saying he has an indefinite suspension. He was pulled from all programming, no promotion, no nothing. Credit to them for moving that fast. AAA, he was already gone. He's been gone. He hasn't been on AAA programming since the summer of 2025, around the same time as SummerSlam. After that, he was suspended for the fan altercation in Tijuana. We should cover that in the future. So when WWE acquired AAA, Del Rio was never thought he was going to be part of that plan when they were buying it. He's never going to be a WWE adjacent roster at this point. He's not a TNA roster because of their deal with WWE. He's not even part of New Japan Pro Wrestling. As of this recording, the biggest promotion he was actively working for was The Crash. And The Crash has suspended him indefinitely. And that's it for him when it comes to wrestling. And that's it. He has burned every freaking bridge he can when it comes to wrestling. Here's the bigger picture piece, and then I'll let this go because Del Rio WWE run ended in 2016. His post-WWE career has been a cycle of legal stories at this point and promotion exits, being angry at promotions, yelling, complaining, yada, yada, yada. The 2020 San Antonio case, which he was acquitted on in 2021 after a witness didn't appear, the AAA fallout, and now this. Every major promotion has a PR calculus when it comes to this man, and that calculus has a ceiling. I'm not saying anything crazy here. I'm saying what the booking sheets already show when it comes to Del Rio's career. He is not on anyone's call list at this point, and he probably never will be. If they do, they're very desperate for talent. And I hope this ruling just makes him more permanent, because this man has only been a series of trouble for everyone. He was great when he was doing stuff in WWE, but with all this crap he's doing, he's not worth it. He's not worth it. There's so much better and greater talent at this point. The wrestling read that I can see going forward for this man. Everything else, the legal process, the human side, the family, that belongs in the courts and the people actually involved. We'll see what that happens. So I'm going to leave this one here. If there are verified updates in the weeks ahead, trial developments, compliance check-ins, whatever, anything that gets reported, we'll talk about it. We'll cover it and we'll see what happens. So hope you guys got informed today. If the T hit right, hit the like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.